7 tips to market your rental property. So if you are a investor, you just bought a rental property and you just fix it up, I know you want to attract the best possible tenant, right? Because you know that there's different tenants out there and you don't want to get one that you have to go evict right after that never pay the rent, because based upon the area you're in, evictions is not the best thing. We know that. It takes a while to get that done. Or especially if you live in an HOA that restricts how many tenants you could have for the year. Some HOA restricts that you can only have 1 tenant for the year. So if that tenant don't work out, you can't rent it again until the year is ended. Some of them say you can't have more than 2 tenants for the year. So if you rent it out to a tenant, you cannot rent it out to more than 2 tenants for the year. So marketing the property to get the best possible tenant is going to be super duper important. Whether you're a newbie or a second time or you've been doing this for a while, the market we're in right now, I'm doing the video in September of 2025. We're in a very strict, kind of tight real estate market where properties aren't selling as much. A lot of homeowners are not getting what they want, so they're deciding to rent the property. So we have more rental properties coming in our area for the first time in a long time. We also have these luxury apartments that are being built for rent. So if you're a single family homeowner or you have a small unit and you want to rent it, you're going to be competing with these luxury builders that are building these luxury apartment complex with a swimming pool and all this great stuff in it. So if I'm a homeowner, I'm trying to rent my property, what are 7 ways that I could market my property to get the ideal renter? Now remember, there's a lot of software out there that you could get to do a background check, do a credit check, all that great stuff. That's going to be super important once you get the ideal tenant. But let us figure first out, how are we going to get the ideal tenant? So the first thing we're going to do is we want to know our audience. What does that mean? That means, what are you renting and who are the more likely tenant to rent that property? For an example, if you're renting a 4-bedroom, 3-bath pool home, you're probably looking to get a family, right? A family-oriented people that's going to probably be renting it. Whereas if you're renting a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment, more than likely you're going to get maybe a single person or maybe a young couple just starting out or maybe a retiree. So you need to know, who is my audience? Who is my avatar? What is the ideal tenant? Who are my ideal tenant? Is it going to be a family of 4? Is it going to be a single person? Is it going to be a retiree? Is it going to be a young family just starting out, maybe in a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom condo or home? It could be a young couple starting out. So who is the audience? Who am I trying to market this property to? We have to figure that out. Number 2 is we got to create a social media plan. We all know social media is a big deal right now. You're probably watching me on social media as we speak. So we need a social media plan. So how are we going to put this stuff on social media for other people to want to rent it from me? What groups am I a part of? Am I a part of any social media group? Maybe I could ask a group if I could put this thing for rent in their group. Do I need to join some investment groups maybe, so I could put my rental property on there to try to attract a good tenant? Because remember, the more tenants you attract, the more choices you have, and the more you're able to pick and choose who you want to rent to. You don't necessarily want to rent to the first person that says, hey, I'm interested in renting your property, because they may not be qualified. So we want to make sure that we know who our audience are. Number 3 is going to be optimizing the listing for SEO. What does that mean? Well, we want to bring social media presence. We want to bring Google presence. We want different search engines to pick up on this particular listing. So maybe we want to put it on a website like Zillow. Zillow have a lot of SEO and we don't have to work for that. So maybe we could put the property for rent on Zillow. We'll get more traction there. Maybe we'll put it on more than one social media. So maybe we'll do Instagram as a story. Maybe we'll put it on Facebook. Maybe we'll also put it on TikTok. Maybe we'll do a small little video, put on YouTube, so it's across all the social media platform. If you're looking for a professional, you could probably also put it on LinkedIn.
Need to buy or sell fast? Make one call, that's all. And put our 23 years of experience to work for you. Gift Group Sells Homes is the way to go. Call for 07-791-4713.
Because LinkedIn will attract a professional to you. So we want to optimize listing. That's why it's so important for us to understand what the audience is. who is going to be the typical person to rent this particular property that I'm renting. The other thing is hire a photographer. Make sure you have professional photograph, because remember, people are buying everything online. Even if you're going to buy a house, you buy a house, what are you looking for? You're looking on what the home look like on the computer before you go look at the home. You're not just driving around. You're like, let me look at some homes on Zillow. This one looks good. I don't like that one. Tenants are going to be doing the same thing. So you want to make sure you have professional pictures taken, and you want to make sure the photographer is highlighting all the highlights of the property. Does it have nice big sunny windows? Does it have a beautiful big backyard? Does it have an oversized kitchen? Does it have a huge family room? Does it have a beautiful loft? Make sure those are being emphasized so people could see what they're going into. The other number next, which is number 5, is you could use paid ads. So you could, maybe put the ad in a newspaper, which is non-existent now. But a lot of newspapers now have they now have websites that you could pay to advertise on their website. So maybe pay to advertise on somebody else's website, like Zillow, for an example. Realtor.com, I don't think charges. Redfin, apartments.com, whatever rental platforms you could use to put your property there. Why? You'd be like, Sandy, I don't need all of that. You're just going to put a foreign sign in the yard. No. You want to have many people. You want to have demand. You want to create demand. So you want to have many people come to look at your one apartment or your one home or whatever you're doing, so you could pick and choose the ideal tenant, right? If you only have 2 people looking and you got to choose from 2 people, you're like, nah, that makes sense. I'm going to have to keep marketing, right? So the more you market, the more easier it is for you to get multiple people that's going to ask you questions and that's going to want to come take a look at it, that you could pick the best tenant for you. The next one is create valuable content. So make sure you're telling the tenant what they're getting into. What are you close to? Are you close to the university? Are you close to the major highway? Are you close to a hospital? Maybe you could get a nurse or doctor. What are you close to? What are the highways, the shopping areas, the big businesses? What are you close to that makes it ideal for someone to want to rent there? Maybe you are attracting students and you're close to the university. Maybe you're attracting retirees and you're close to a retirement community center or something to that effect. What does the home have to offer? Why would I want to rent there? Why would I want to live there, right? So you want to make sure that you're advertising that. Valuable content is important. And next, which is the last one, number 7, is track everything you do. So if you're doing all the social media sites, you got to track that. You also got to go in and look if people are making comment, because you want to answer their questions, right? So if somebody's saying, oh, I'm interested in this property, how far is it from X? You want to make sure you answer that. Also, if you're posting in different Facebook groups, you want to make sure that if there's any questions or anything pop up, you could also answer that. If you post on LinkedIn and there's any questions being asked, you want to do that. You want to make sure you're asking that. You also want to, what a good idea is, which is a freebie. When you create the content for your rental, ask your friends and family what they think. Tell them, be objective with me. What do you think? If you look at this right now, would you rent it? Why am I saying this? Because more and more rentals, I've never seen so many rentals in my community, to be honest with you, in my own neighborhood. So more and more rental properties are coming up on the market because people don't want to sell for less. They rather rent it because of the low interest rate that they have. So you know you're going to be able to rent more homes than you ever could as opposed to an apartment. So if I'm renting a home, what's going to set mine's different? What's going to make mine different from the other 20 that's been for rent? And you have to know that because you're competing with luxury apartments, these luxury apartments are putting in granite, Korean counters, beautiful kitchen cabinets. They're doing laminate floors, all this great stuff. You're competing with that. If you're competing, I don't know if you're going to be competing with that, more than likely you are. But if you're competing with that, then you want to make sure that you're updating your property to make it to attract the best tenant. You don't want to just throw it on and say whoever rents it, because if the property is run down, more than likely you're going to get a rundown tenant. You don't want that. I'm pretty sure you don't. So make sure that your property is nice, that you stage it correctly, that you do any updates, change any light fixtures. Amazon have crazy prices on light fixtures and faucet fixtures and all that great stuff that you could get. Also, laminate floors are so much cheaper now. So if you don't have to have carpet, most people don't want carpet. So if you're able to change from carpet to laminate flooring for your rental, that's great. Because guess what? It's going to last longer, right? And you don't have to break the bank. Go on Amazon if you have older faucet fixtures or piping fixtures or lighting fixtures, just switch them out. Very easy to switch out. As a matter of fact, somebody told me that Amazon now have the stick and peel backsplash for kitchens, and some of them look really good. Some of them look believable. So you could probably also do that to enhance your kitchen. Remember that the kitchen and bathroom is what sells, even when somebody's renting. Thank you so much for listening, guys. If you have any comments, let us know. Put it down there. Let us know what you think. Hopefully you get some knowledge from this, and I'll see you on the next video.
Need to buy or sell fast? Make one call, that's all. And put our 23 years of experience to work for you. Gift Group Sells Homes is the way to go. Call for 07 791 4713.